things you told me, and then I need to ask you some detailed questions, okay?
Yes.
All right. First of all, you said your son was beaten by jail deputies, employed by the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you don't know how many deputies? Do you know? You don't know their
I believe
names?
he said two. Yeah, and he didn't know their names.
Okay. And these deputies were working on what shift, if you know? What time was your son in custody?
I believe he arrived there at the jail around, so it was between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. that this incident occurred.
Okay, what day of the week was it?
It was May 18th, Friday.
Okay, May 18th. All right. Okay, what most people don't know, and have you tried to get the names of the deputies?
They won't even speak to me.
So they won't tell you the names of the deputies, though. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Have you asked them in writing to give you the deputies' names?
No, I didn't request that in writing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommend that you do that because unless you have an official record that you made that request, they're going to say you never.
Uh-huh.
They're going to say that you never asked.
Okay.
Okay. So
All
the
right.
other thing is we can find out if we know the date and the time, and we know the date and the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find out who was working on that shift. So now, but can you
Yeah.
tell me what part of the jail your son was in?
He said it was that holding area while he was being booked. I don't know what it's called.
Okay. What's the name? Was he at the central jail? Is there more than one jail facility? What is the
The
physical?
main jail.
The main
San
jail.
Jose main jail.
San Jose main jail. Okay. And that was on May 18th, correct?
Yes.
All right. There's some issue with in the reports about whether your son was intoxicated. Do you know if he was intoxicated or not?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And at what level? Do you think he was very intoxicated, modestly intoxicated? What?
Well, by that time, it was wearing off, so he said that he was coherent and aware of everything that was going on. So I don't know what level you want to call that. I mean,
Okay.
he was still under the influence, but, not passed out.
Okay. Go over with me why the police arrested him.
Okay, I believe it was just a continuation of the Mountain View police, patrolling my house, which had been done for years because they, just wanted to, see what my kids were doing. And so the lieutenant that was off duty driving by, he saw my son in the front yard. And so he stopped, and because my son was, sleeping it off, he thought that he was needed a 911 response to make sure he was, okay. So 911 came, and then when they, realized he was drunk, they called for officers to respond to the scene at the house, and one officer came in his patrol car, don't have any of these names, and he was taking my son to the Mountain View police station. And I was on my way home when I had been contacted by family at the house that the police were arresting him, and I called dispatch, said, I'm coming home from the store, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Please have the officer wait. And so he didn't, and as I was driving home, a couple blocks from our home, I saw him driving away with Scott in the back seat, and I asked him to stop, which he did, and I said, you can't arrest him, it's an illegal arrest. He was at home. not in public. And he just, continued to argue with me that yes, it's a legal arrest, and
Okay.
it was in public.
No more on that. Let me just get back to, I'm reading through your complaint, your letter, and the responses. All right, let me ask you a few questions. So there was no abuse by the arresting officer?
Just verbal.
Okay. So he was verbally abusive. We'll go into that in more detail. I want to get to the part where your son was actually assaulted in the jail. And according to you, when he was in the jail, two officers grabbed him from both sides and slammed his face into the wall?
Yeah, they raised him up out of the chair and did that. And then at what point, I don't know, they took off his handcuffs, they said.
Okay, was there an argument before that, or did they just go in and grab him?
No, they had been, just kind of like, they were taunting him and verbally, and he was, saying uncomplimentary statements to them. And so I just assumed that.
So there was cursing going back and forth?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And the deputies, did he give any description of what the deputies looked like who assaulted him?
No, he didn't. But he probably still remembers, and at the point when you could speak to him, you can ask him.
Okay. All right. Well, I have enough information for today, but I just have a few closing questions. His injuries, when they slammed him into the wall and did other things to him, what sort of injuries did he have, and did he take pictures?
He had a headache for several days because of his head hitting the wall or window, and his arms. I had him take off the splints on each arm, and I took a snapshot. I don't know how to use a cell phone for that, so I had just had a camera, which I have not developed.
Okay.
So that's all I have of it.
All right. If you can get that film developed, I would appreciate it. And then,
Okay.
why don't you call me back after the holidays when your son is ready to talk, and
Okay.
I'll talk to him in detail, and tell him there's nothing to be afraid of. There won't be any trick questions. I just need to know
Yeah.
his side of what happened. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, but since you're recording this, I am going to say that he dictated that statement to me, which is the complaint letter that I had submitted to both departments. So that was his words told to me of the incident.
Okay.
And he probably should have signed it too, but at the time he couldn't have signed it because he had no use of his arms or hands.
And this is the letter you wrote to Camilla Harris, Sergeant
Yes,
Thompson,
yeah.
etc. Okay.
Yeah, that letter it was dated either May 19th or 20th.
It's May 18th. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I sent out to everybody, trying to get somebody to help.
Okay. So the crux of your complaint is that he was treated, he was falsely arrested, abusively, verbally abused on the way to the station, that he was assaulted in the jail, slammed headfirst into a wall, and had his arms stretched out to the point that it caused him harm, and that anything else that was done, or are those things accurate that I described?
Let's see, yes, that's accurate, what you stated.
Okay. All right, I have enough information to go forward with your case.
Okay.
Just do me a favor and call me after the holidays as soon as you're ready to go forward with the next step.
Okay.
I need to talk to him.
Okay, and I just want to say something else. The attorney that was going to take the case, he was a former sheriff's officer, whatever you call them. I can't remember what he told me his title was, but and then he decided to leave and then pursued to get the education to be an attorney. And so he had told me that he knew, these people that were involved, and then when they kept refusing to speak to me about the complaint and said that they could only speak to Scott, which he didn't want to because Scott was afraid they were going to, somehow, get him confused and just, he'd be making misstatements. And so the attorney finally said, well, he said, that's okay. And he said the suit can be filed in both of our names, mine and Scott's. And then when I had sent another letter to the sheriff's office, stating that, we were going to just go down there for an interview since they weren't replying to schedule one, then that attorney, he said, that letter was inflammatory and he didn't want to, take on the case anymore. And, I thought, well, if he knows these people, then, he's not really comfortable going up against.
Hold on. I'm losing something. Are you saying that he got upset about the letter you wrote to the sheriff?
The attorney did, yes.
Okay, so this is hold on. Is this the letter that I'm reading right now, the one you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you wrote the facts of what your son told you, and then the attorney you were dealing with walked away from the case.
No, he had read that first complaint letter, was taking the case, and then, maybe a couple weeks after, since the sheriff's department was not responding when I would call, because they said they wanted to schedule an appointment.
Okay, got it. Hold on. So you wrote a follow-up letter that upset the attorney.
Yeah, and it should be included there because I included all lawyers.
Okay, no, I'm just not looking at. I'm looking for it. I'll find it. All right, so I got it. All right, well, let me do this, Ms. Gingras. There's nothing more that I need related to this except talking to your son. So,
Yes, okay.
and any pictures you can give me. So if you can get me the pictures, then I can move forward, and I'll be looking for. My next move will be after you contact me.
Okay. And then I just wonder, when we had initially talked, you had said that there was an agreement, and you had stated all the points included in the agreement. But I would like to get, like a letter to read all that. And
Absolutely. Let me do this. Let me do this. What I want to do now is, I'll get you that letter. And I do want to review the files I'm looking at right now since I just talked to you, and I want to go through them while it's fresh in my mind, so I do not want to talk anymore. While I'm thinking about your case, I want to look at these files. And I will send you a letter stipulating what we're doing for you, and I can repeat generally what we're doing at some point in another phone call. So what I'll do is we'll get that taken care of. But let me read this, because these documents, they're critical to what I'm evaluating, but what I want to tell you is they're pretty strong in their rebuttal to you, and I want to make sure that we have evidence to support what your son is accusing the officers of doing.
Yes. Well, there is one letter in there from the district attorney. He is stating that he had reviewed the tapes and, I think said something like, my son provoked it or something like that. So whatever tapes they had, he reviewed, and that's when he said that,
And let me stop you there. You never got the tapes, correct?
No.
Okay.
Because that attorney that was going to take my case, he told me after that letter I sent to the sheriff that he didn't like, he said, by now they've probably destroyed the evidence.
Well, hold on. That's nonsense. How would he know that? That's not something you want to guess on. So, hold on.
Because he used to work there.
That doesn't mean anything. So what?
Yeah, well, that's what he told me why he was not taking the case.
Okay, I got that part, but I'm just telling you, he's not in a position to say what their policy is, and there's no way of knowing whether they've destroyed that evidence without you asking for it. So what I'm asking you right now is, have you asked for the tapes?
Yes, I had sent that FOIA letter, one to the sheriff's department.
Okay, got it. Okay, stop. That's a yes or no. So my next question is, did they respond?
No.
Okay. Well, hold on. Okay, well, hold on. Let me stop you there. You're filing a lawsuit. You'll be able to subpoena those records, whether it's paper, audio, video. You can use a subpoena to get it. So listen, I've got to go because I want to look at this file. I will talk with you after the holiday.
Okay, well, thank you very much for listening.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
You too, bye.
Bye.